You want to listen to King Von with your wife?
Sometimes.
What? What?
When you put it like that.
Your wife is throwing up fucking GD and shit. And like,
he's a BD. Come on.
It took a
Rest in peace.
33rd. Like, what? You and your wife are gangbanging in the crib cooking omelets?
Yeah. I mean, if we had that in common, we'd be a little bit closer, right? If I knew every single Taylor Swift song, I guarantee she'd feel a little closer to me. She probably never wanted to listen to King Von, but now she actually has a reason to like tell me to turn it off because of the kid.
Yeah, you don't want to program your kid with King Von. That's demonic music.
I know.
Isn't it funny that the guy's his actual serial killer and nobody's trying to cancel him, but like everybody's coming after Andrew Tate for allegations that are not even proven by anything, but an actual serial killer is being celebrated and all these Twitter accounts having his profile picture.
Right. No, I can't deny that.
No sense.
It's kind of insane. But what they would say is like, oh, that's his background. He grew up in this environment. So he has I don't know anything about Andrew Tate's upbringing, but I mean, if you were to find out that he was from O Block, I don't think anybody would give him a pass.
Andrew was from the projects in Chicago.
Really?
The same, actually probably pretty close to where King Von's from, but nobody gives him the excuse of that.
This needs to be discussed more.
100%. He grew up in the projects. In Chicago and in New England. And then nobody's like, he had a trouble upbringing. No one cares. But when you stay in that degenerate lifestyle and you're a millionaire still banging whatever, I'm O Block, you're 28. Like, what are you doing? Grow up. But no, people get to hide behind this degenerate minority culture. They get to hide behind the excuse of I'm black, I'm a Mexican or whatever, I had a tough upbringing, to just be degenerate and like have all this, promote negative behavior. And no matter what age you are, you know?
I mean, so you don't like rap music?
I do. I do.
As a whole, it's bad for society?
I like Ye.
I'm still kind of caught up on degenerate minority culture.
Yeah. Yeah. Black culture in America is just 100% promoting degeneracy.
100%. There's a lot of great things happening under the banner.
And when you think of black culture, what do you think?
Well, I mean, okay. There's a lot of, I will agree that there's a lot of music that celebrates things that are, you know, objectively bad for society.
Ye he's promoting Christian values. It's inspirational. You listen to that, and like I don't even like listening to music is haram. First off, you're not supposed to listen to music based on the Quran.
So you are so far from being a good Muslim. It's fucking hilarious.
No, I'm getting better. I quit drinking, and and I pray. I've been praying 5 times a day. I've been doing the right things, man. I'm taking the right steps.
But don't you think that like the sex stuff and the music stuff, that's probably a big
deal,
right?
I don't really have casual sex. I slip up sometimes, obviously, but I've been really cutting that out.
Okay, I'll put it like this. I have a friend who just recently got out of like a 3-year relationship. And at first, he was very, very excited to, I think, sleep with a lot of women. You know, that really appealed to him. He slept with a few.
And then you get bored and you go back to it.
And then we had the conversation the other day where he said that he's basically created like a rule for himself, which is that he's not going to sleep with any women that he couldn't see himself potentially being in a relationship.
Because it's a waste of time.
Yeah, and it's a dirty feeling when you're just hanging out with a girl just to fuck, and then you fuck and you finish, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, what am I doing in this
You guys are just
room?
using each other's bodies, yeah.
Yeah, like this is just pointless, and it's a dirty feeling. But when you're a young guy, you know, you just want to fuck so bad that you don't care. Like you'll just fuck whatever and just deal with the consequences later. But I do think that like in terms of your own personal happiness, that is probably a pretty good standard to hold yourself to. And
when you step out of that, you realize that that's not appealing at all unless you're intoxicated. Like you need to be on some like Molly, Coke, alcohol, or I was smoking weed. Like back in college when I was doing that all the time, I was always intoxicated. What's funny too is that they never say that the girls I was with raped me or anything like that, even though I was intoxicated the whole time. They say you can't consent. Whole time. Now that I'm sober, I've been sober for 2 months straight. Nothing. And that whole thing is not because you don't want to be in the club. It sucks. It's boring. You don't want to listen to the music. People are annoying. You don't want to be in a random girl's apartment if you're not intoxicated because you have things to do. Your mind is too sharp to be in this environment, which is really low energy. Right. Yeah. I don't want to waste my time with that.
So is this setting you apart from a lot of your, red pill buddies? Because I've heard like Myron talk about going on multiple dates per day, which I kind of don't even believe. No, it just seems like he's too busy. Like, why would you be doing that?
He does.
But doesn't that just seem like a massive waste of your time to just be fucking random girls that much?
Yeah, it is. I mean, Rolo was here just now. That's the vasectomy guy saying that you should go get a transgender surgery. You should get a vasectomy so that you can have sex with a bunch of women and not have kids, which is literally removing the whole purpose that God gave us to have sex.
Does he already have kids?
Yeah, his kids, yeah.
Okay.
But he doesn't, I don't even know if he has, I don't know. But he was just telling his audience, get a vasectomy.
I saw that.
Like, that's the steps to become a high value man is get a vasectomy, make money. It's like, then what's the point of having sex? Am I just seeking pleasure or am I seeking fulfillment?
If you actually wanted to, not ever have kids, then I guess I could understand having the vasectomy, but I wouldn't trust anybody in their 20s to make that decision. Like, if you had asked me at like 31 or 32 if I wanted to get a vasectomy, I might have been like, shit, all right, why not? Because I never even thought about having kids until I was with my girl for like 4 years.
Aren't you glad you didn't?
Yeah.
There you go. So
It's a terrible idea.
It's a terrible,
Especially
terrible
when you
idea.
just pull out. It's not that hard.
It's not that hard. You can, if you don't have the discipline to pull out, then I don't know how you're going to succeed in life. Because
Yeah.
life, you need to be disciplined in every single aspect.
I look at dudes who have like, 10 kids, and it's just super obvious that they just are bad at pulling out. And I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, how do you have this little self-control in that moment that if you bust a nut inside her, you might have just cost yourself like $1 million lifetime.
Not even in a lifetime. Probably need almost a year or 2 years now. Like kids are
$1 million in a year to raise a kid.
on a kid. Well, it depends on like if you have to buy a house and cars, certain things.
You're gonna buy the kid a house?
Well, to have the kid. Okay, yeah.
But especially if you really don't have money. But like say you're taking care of the kid basically for like 20 years, and you got to spend like 50 grand a year. Yeah, you just spend $1 million every time you nut in a girl.
I want to have
they
10
have the
kids.
kid.
I want to have 10.
But 10 is a lot.
I want 10 over the course of my life.
The other day, I had to take care of my kid and my niece and my nephew at the same time for maybe like a half hour. And it just made me realize that taking care of 3 kids at a time or 2 kids is so much exponentially more difficult than taking care of 1 kid. It's fucking insane. It's like juggling, because like 1 kid just starts to get into something and you have to stop them because one of the kids 1, the other kid's 2, my kid's 2.5. And it's just like the amount of attention that it takes to deal with 3 kids like that is just so much worse. Whereas my kid, I feel like I pretty much have her under control. Like there's only so many things that she could fuck with in the house.
But isn't it better if the wife does most of that work? This is why I think it's better to I don't really care about a woman's life experience, or like if she watches Seinfeld.
You just want to stay home and take care of the kids, right?
That's her ideal performance. That's where she's optimized performance-wise. At home, cooking, making macaroni posters with the kids, changing the diapers, bringing them to school, singing songs.
Macaroni posters.
There you go, all that goofy stuff, playing Wii Sports. That's what I want her to do. And then homeschooling too. I don't want my kids to be in school because you just see how much woke garbage is being promoted in here. I don't want to be around that. If these LGBT people are in the park yelling, "We're coming for your children," most of these kindergarten teachers, they're the ones putting up pride flags in the school. They're the ones who want to be teachers. That's how they get the kids.
That is kind of scary.
That's what's happening. Like
I think we should be able to agree on a curriculum and a culture at schools that is not deeply offensive to the more conservative parents, right?
Yeah, that's just called homeschool.
Yeah, but I don't know. I worry about that as well.
All right, so you see it. We just hit 500K. You know what that means? That means you gotta subscribe and get us to 600K, because we are dangerously close to 666K. Let's go.